A sickly boy sips the medicine his own family hands him and realizes it's poison. That's ordinary in the Daskell clan, demon swordsmen who breed heirs and quietly cull the weak ones. What they don't know is that the runt they're killing already died once, as someone else entirely. In his first life, he was the strongest holy swordsman humanity had, one of the legendary 9 stars, and he burned out, saving a world he still lost. Now he wakes carrying 2 cores that were never meant to share one chest, a holy core and a demon's mana core. No one in 1,000 years has held both, and he means to weld them into a single weapon and rewrite the ending he already failed. Rewind to the end of that first life. Humanity's strongest, the 9 stars, had just been wiped out by an enemy no one could name. Their bodies litter the field beside the monsters that killed them. The whole species got speedrun in a single afternoon. 2 fighters are still on their feet over the corpses, gasping. Xenon grips his sword and asks if they're really all that's left. Beside him, Aerith Coven, a 9-star defensive mage, steadies her staff for whatever comes next. Xenon tells her to pour everything into defense, and when she asks what he's planning, he brings his shield up against an incoming blast and points at the mountain-sized armored giant that just ended humanity. I'm going to land 1 hit on that bastard. Then 3 more figures walk out across the dead. A bruised woman leans on the man leading them and warns that all the 9 stars together couldn't kill it. He answers by drawing his blade, the holy swordsman of the glorious 9 stars, calling his ultimate holy light style 10th form. The woman watches, terrified he's reaching for that power again. His strike slams into the armored titan. A massive clawed hand tears up through the light, and every slash carves across its chained body without bringing it down. Teeth gritted, he funnels everything into one more swing. A crescent of golden light the size of the sky rips outward, and still the giant meets his blade head-on and holds. He hurls himself back in, feels the dark power about to crush him, and screams for Aerith. On it! Her green barrier snaps up and swallows the blow with no time to spare. The collision shatters the floating platforms apart. He grits through the shockwave and drives straight back at the giant, one man still swinging at the thing that already killed everyone else. The first hit explodes and launches Noah backward, but our boy twists in midair and brings his sword crashing down again. And Noah's past life self lands a strike powerful enough to make the purple-haired onlooker celebrate early, but the armored giant survives and fires back. Not yet. Her jaw drops. Zenon charges in with his sword raised, forcing out even more power. The violet warns that his body is about to fold, but he fires back. I don't care. She curses in frustration as he ignores every warning. Aerith Coven locks Zenon down with light prison before he destroys himself. Noah's past life self screams that killing the creature dooms everybody anyway, but Aerith raises the chained pocket watch, and his panic flips to shock. Then the violet charges through the clash and makes Xenon promise those bastards never win again. Then the pocket watch bearer names Aerith, orders her to let go, and dumps humanity's last hope on her. Then the purple-haired warrior joins the final attack and unleashes a devastating magical blast. She knows the sacrifice will kill her. She says goodbye Xenon and spends her remaining power to help him escape. The blast tears upward and sends the golden pocket watch spinning away. The violet crashes into the wasteland coughing, but when that gloved hand reaches her, she manages. It worked. So Aerith Coven names the mystic pocket watch and explains the deal. Reincarnation, a rewritten life, 1 trip into the past. Then Noah's past life self drops toward his second chance while she trusts him to fix the reality that destroyed them. Desperate fragments of the ruined world follow him as he falls toward reincarnation, and a horned being begs him to save the world. Among the wreckage, an unidentified survivor mourns and wishes for that same impossible outcome. Noah lunges through the red energy barrage. The clash tears forward hard enough to put the Grand Estate on alert. A voice from inside shouts, Aerith, and Noah bolts upright, clutching his head. And when Lydia rushes in, our boy demands a weapon so he can fight the invaders. She stares at him like he's lost it, while Noah realizes that entire disaster was a nightmare. Lydia introduces herself as Noah's maid, but our boy checks his hands and realizes this body is his. She asks what's wrong. Noah drops into a defensive crouch. The maid confirms it's year 850, so Noah realizes the magic tool hurled him through time. Meanwhile, the robed mage activates a spell, and Noah recognizes the wicked Daskell family. Damn, reincarnation gave him the worst address. And dude barely has time to process that before Lydia brings his usual medicine. Her uneasy reaction makes the routine dose look suspicious. Noah clocks something wrong and boots the medicine across the floor, leaving Lydia stunned. The servants rush in demanding answers, but our boy is already doing the chemistry. His holy core reacts to impurities, and that potion is foaming. Congratulations, breakfast was poison. Noah realizes his core is rejecting the medicine. Poison. His shock flips into a smirk, because the bastard behind this just gave our boy one very obvious target. Then with the poison exposed, a household swordsman orders 2 servants to restrain Noah. They grab for him inside the room, but he refuses to submit. Bro kicks the first attacker across the room. So another servant draws a blade and tries to strike Noah. This guy counters before it lands and drops him with 1 punch. The servant curses him from the floor, proving the household will use force to control him. Noah expected that punch to hit harder. His analysis ability checks the servant and exposes a complete 1-star weakling with no mana training. Now our boy's doing the math. Why the hell does he possess such a rare skill? So before Bro can examine the skill further, another household swordsman suddenly attacks with his sword. Noah barely avoids the first strike, but the swordsman keeps pressing forward. The next impact knocks down a nearby servant as the fight closes around our hero. The household swordsman keeps attacking, but Noah blocks the falling blade. Noah counters with a clean slash. Noah ends the clash immediately. The maid and bystander freeze as the hooded man crashes down, disarmed. Noah stands over him while demonic power condenses into an orb, Dazkul family hardware only. And the glorious family's holy core should reject Dazkul mana outright, but Noah is carrying both inside one body. Now the 2 powers collide, dragging our suspended boy into awakening mode. Noah's Dazkul core goes berserk, and the servant realizes this is bad as his whole body starts shaking, so our boy gambles on an untested holy core burst to suppress it. Noah forces his sacred core against the berserk mana and stabilizes it, but the long-haired swordsman chops through the clash, leaving our boy sparking under the impact. Damn. Then Noah withstands the stronger household swordsman's attack and meets his blade directly. They fight for control. The swordsman admits Bro surpasses the previous 2 attackers in swordsmanship. The supposedly sickly youngest son is a real threat. Noah meets Skull Dazkul's red energy counterattack with a holy sword slash. Their attacks collide, but Skull's force drives the guy backward and leaves him struggling. Noah forces through the clash. Noah wounds Skull Dazkul with another strike. Skull keeps fighting. He mistakes Noah's strain for weakness and mocks him for losing his earlier confidence. Then Skull Dazkul sends another red energy slash at Noah. He claims Bro can't anticipate his concealed technique. Noah combines his holy and mana power, allowing him to withstand the surprise attack. Now this guy holds firm and studies Skull Dazkul's attack. Instead of giving ground, he pushes forward with a committed counterstrike. Noah's counterstrike breaks the concealed attack and throws the bystander into a wall. Bleeding on the floor, she demands to know how Noah found her. So Noah explains her concealment hid her body, not her presence. She got cocky and paid wall rental fees. Standing over the wounded bystander, he's already doing the math. His holy core fused with the Dazkul core during that strike, feeding both forces into his blade. Noah recognizes the core from his past life, but now it is colliding with the Dazkul mana core inside him. He reaches into that fusion and declares, "I can change the world." Then our boy smirks, and the maids rush in after sensing Noah's power and ask whether he's hurt. Noah assures them he's fine. A winged creature arrives carrying a sealed letter. Our hero turns his attention to its message, and Noah reads that the Dazkul succession battle is beginning, then asks the maids what that means. They say everyone in the family knows about it, and Noah presses them to explain the rules. The succession battle is the family's quality control test. Heirs clash, the strongest takes everything, and weakness gets buried. Noah understands why his past life had so little intel on the family, then smirks. Our boy's already doing the math. The people adore Noah's old noble family because his holy knight power represents justice. Meanwhile, the Dazkuls occupy the opposite end of public relations. Everybody fears and despises these bastards for swordsmanship powered by demons. So Noah measures the family by its current head, Victor Dazkul. He's considered humanity's strongest swordsman. With the succession struggle approaching, Noah reaches the hidden council chamber. He prepares to meet Victor Dazkul inside. Noah decides rumors are useless, and he'll verify Victor himself, so he steadies his chest and marches through the doorway. The black-haired man approaches Julia Dazkul and the armored eldest son, then checks behind him like this family meeting comes with assassination insurance. Julia waits while her brother sizes him up. Then Noah identifies Julia Dazkul as the eldest daughter, and Cease Dazkul and Eve Dazkul join the other candidates. Every sibling stays guarded because each one wants the family inheritance. Skull Dazkul smugly drops a poisoning accusation, so Noah fires back that he only identified his illness days ago. Julia Dazkul asks if he'll recover quietly. Our boy says no, he's joining the damn race. Skull Dazkul lashes out over Noah's declaration, but Eve Dazkul cuts him off. She orders both brothers to stay quiet because the succession council is beginning. So Noah steps forward as the council chamber opens. A crushing pressure instantly silences every heir. He recognizes that power from his previous life, when every swordsman knew this person's name. Victor Dazkul enters, and his pressure ends the argument immediately. Dude recognizes his father as the Dazkul patriarch, rumored to be the strongest man alive. Every candidate submits. Then Victor Dazkul formally begins the succession council once every heir is present. His authority keeps the hall silent. The mana core gem at his collar points to the power controlling their inheritance. And Victor Daskal calls Noah before the assembled heirs and asks him to confirm his intent. This guy doesn't hesitate. I will win the Daskal succession struggle and stand at the top. Noah's declaration challenges every candidate in the chamber. One rival says he has declared war on them all, and the other heirs immediately see Noah as a direct threat to their claims. Noah makes his meaning clear. His challenge includes Victor Daskal because he intends to surpass the family head too. Now Bro releases his mana core against the power holding him back. His force cracks the barrier and shatters it. Noah realizes he has broken through part of his father's power. Noah's mana core surges after breaking through Victor Daskal's power. Victor Daskal watches him grow stronger and asks if our hero truly plans to surpass him. Noah answers Victor Daskal's concern with steady confidence. When asked why he wants power, Noah remains determined to defeat every succession rival. Then Victor Daskal accepts Noah's resolve and formally admits him into the succession struggle. Eve Daskal and the other heirs react with suspicion because Bro threatens their claims, and Noah returns to the Daskal estate. Noah begins training immediately. He cuts through a practice dummy while adjusting his swordsmanship to his increased power. His fused mana holy core changes how he needs to fight. Our boy tests techniques using both powers while keeping the dual core fusion secret. So Julia Daskal sees Noah's unfamiliar power and asks what it is. Noah questions why she's watching, and Julia Daskal says the reason should be obvious. Noah's place in the succession struggle gives Julia Daskal reason to test him. She raises her sword and says, "Then, without further ado," before starting the challenge. So Julia Daskal attacks before Noah can prepare and drives him backward. He recovers and blocks her next strike, turning the surprise attack into a serious duel. And Dude blocks Julia Daskal's sword, but she calls this the perfect chance to test him. Her next powerful strike drives him backward and forces him to defend seriously. Julia Daskal has 7-star physical ability, swordsmanship, and mana core. Noah barely gets time to recover before she attacks again, forcing an immediate response. Julia Daskal's next strike comes faster than the guy expects, and he barely blocks it. Their swords lock as she forces him backward. Ordinary defense won't hold, so he draws out more hidden power and meets her head on. But Julia Daskal mocks him while their swords remain locked. Noah refuses to give ground. He draws on his fused mana holy power and attacks again, revealing more strength is the only way to stop her controlling the duel. Noah keeps the mana holy nature of his power secret, preserving that advantage. He tells Julia Daskal, "I'll prove whether I'm a failure." She accepts the challenge, but his committed strike forces her down. Turns out the succession candidates steal mana cores to build one ultimate power. Julia Daskal confirms it by demanding Noah's mana core. This isn't just a test of strength anymore. Then Bro drives his powered strike into Julia Daskal. The slash tears across the courtyard. The force startles Lydia and the second maid. Julia Daskal takes the hit, but the succession duel continues. Then the collision sends a shockwave through the courtyard as Noah strains against Julia Daskal's resistance. Neither gives way. They charge back into another sword clash, still fighting for each other's mana core. Julia Daskal closes the distance and crashes into this guy again, but his counter holds. His growing strength impresses her. She demands more from him. She prepares to push the duel further. So Julia Daskal unleashes the Shadow Flame Sword's first form, forcing Noah to stop holding back. He pours everything into his fused power and braces with both hands. His full-strength strike meets her technique directly. Noah's full-strength counter breaks through Shadow Flame Sword's first form and blasts Julia Daskal backward. He attacks before she can recover. Their next collision sends another shockwave across the courtyard, leaving the duel unsettled. Now Julia Daskal notices the wound weakening Noah's arm. She asks, "Do you really plan to keep fighting with just one hand?" Noah refuses to surrender his mana core. Despite the injury, he grips his sword with both hands and attacks again. So Bro commits to the two-handed strike, and Julia Daskal blocks the full impact. She acknowledges he's finally using both hands. His wounded arm hasn't stopped him. The heavier blow knocks Julia Daskal back, but Noah also loses his balance. He bears the strain, steadies himself, and prepares to attack before she recovers. Our hero presses forward with another powerful strike, sending a shockwave across the estate grounds. Julia Daskal withstands it. Still, his hidden strength forces her to reassess him. And Noah asks why Julia Daskal doesn't kill him and take his mana core. She says killing him now would waste its potential. Julia Daskal plans to harvest it after it matures. Julia Daskal admits Noah is already much stronger than she expected. He blocked her attack and countered it. She increases the pressure, forcing Dude to brace himself again. Noah answers with Shadow Flame style, 8th form. His counter breaks through Julia Daskal's attack and sends her crashing backward. His hidden swordsmanship matches his unusual mana core. And Xenon tries to stop the duel because Julia Daskal's next attack could kill our boy. The clash continues, so Xenon intervenes to protect his ally. So Julia Daskal blocks Xenon and orders him not to interfere. This battle is for their mana cores. Noah refuses to retreat. Noah launches another strike. Julia Daskal ends the duel without taking Noah's mana core. She'll return once he grows stronger and his core matures. Noah accepts and says, "I'll be looking forward to it." Then, as Julia Daskal leaves, she thinks back on Noah's counter. A supposed 2-star shouldn't block or produce that much power. She realizes he's hiding his true strength and starts suspecting him. Julia Daskul leaves the estate carrying the red gem, convinced Noah's hidden strength makes their rematch worth pursuing. But Skull Daskul and the other family members rage. Because Victor Daskul favors Bro, they still dismiss him as worthless. The hooded family member answers by releasing enough power to shatter the surrounding glass. So Skull Daskul protests because even he has never witnessed power at that level. Another family member denies it until the hooded family member overwhelms everyone, and Skull Daskul finally backs down and starts planning something against Noah. The guy returns to the Daskul estate with Lydia. A servant greets him and apologizes for the delayed introduction before presenting his next assignment. The assignment begins immediately. Since Noah spent years bedridden, he expects the armored commander to demand he recover that lost time. Appraisal lists physical 7-star, swordsmanship 8-star, and mana core 6-star with no special notes. The commander orders Noah to investigate and clear a mana pool. Then Bro joins the forest expedition, where soldiers are already killing monsters. The mana pool keeps raising the area's mana concentration and drives nearby creatures into a frenzy. Because of that, the commander orders everyone to kill every monster in the area. A knight kills a wounded spider monster, but clearing weaker creatures individually takes too long. Noah decides heading straight toward the mana pool's center is more efficient. Before he moves, a soldier urgently calls for this guy and the commander. Several trainees have collapsed from exhaustion or injuries, leaving the survivors tense and alert. The expedition retreats along the forest path while carrying an unconscious trainee. The mana-filled forest is already wearing the group down, and before they can finish withdrawing, a violent strike tears through the forest. Noah senses the rising mana concentration and knows they're near the mana pool's center. It also confirms that a powerful monster is attacking them. Now the armored serpent wounds another fighter and blocks the expedition's retreat. The soldiers protect the unconscious casualty while preparing to fight. Noah remains with them as the withdrawal turns into a direct confrontation. The monster charges again and knocks another soldier unconscious. The expedition warns everyone and closes around the wounded. Dude strikes first with a slashing counter, but the impact throws several fighters aside. Then now, the armored creature swings its huge stinger toward Noah. A soldier warns that it's too dangerous for someone believed to be only 7-star. Our hero still faces it alone, keeping it away from the wounded expedition. Noah's counter cuts through the creature's armor, but its huge pincer blocks his follow-up. No clean opening. He pushes more power into the clash and drives his blade through its defense. And Noah finally breaks through, piercing the monster and leaving it critically wounded. He doesn't pause. 2 more slashes land before the creature can recover, bringing it close to defeat. So Noah drives his sword through one armored limb, but the injury doesn't stop the creature. It keeps coming. The monster charges immediately and fires a huge energy beam straight at him. Now Bro withstands the beam and keeps fighting instead of pulling back. The creature launches another barrage. Noah meets every attack head-on. Their attacks collide hard and neither side gives ground. A soldier watches our boy survive the barrage and praises his swordsmanship. His mana core is supposedly weak, which makes Noah's skill even harder to explain. Noah deflects the remaining attacks. Noah forces another direct clash. So Noah holds firm through the next impact and gathers his mana holy power. He channels everything through his sword. The blast overwhelms the clash and ends the exchange immediately. The blast ends that exchange, but the monster is still fighting. Bro braces against the remaining pressure and admits it's tough. Still standing, he prepares to force another opening. Meanwhile, a soldier confirms the order. The expedition coordinates its response. Noah uses the opening to attack an enemy directly. A concentrated counterattack tears across the battlefield, forcing another swordsman to block it with his blade. And the guy calls the armored monster's attack impressive and immediately pushes back. He keeps hammering its armor with his sword until a close-range opening appears. But Noah focuses his power on its claw and damages the limb. He cracks its tail next, disabling the monster's main weapons. Once the exchange ends, Noah starts collecting its fangs for his plan. Zenon asks if Dude also collected fangs from the earlier monsters. Noah points toward their shells. Zenon understands the materials are being gathered deliberately. This guy has found a way to use them against the armored monsters. Then another armored monster advances before Noah can carry out the full plan. Several spells gather around the creature before it launches a magical assault. Noah and Zenon must break through to keep moving toward the mana pool's center. The expedition's swordsman answers with magic sword style, 3rd form. At the same time, the demon barrier array contains the incoming blast. Then the sustained assault breaks through and starts cracking the defense. Bro endures the pressure and waits until an opening finally appears. He says now the timing is right and prepares his counterattack. So Noah launches his counterattack the moment the opening appears. He keeps striking until the concentrated assault explodes against the armored monster. The impact stops its momentum and leaves it badly damaged. The monster survives and blocks Noah's next downward strike. Our hero draws on Julia Daskul's swordplay and tests whether he can copy it. He leaps into position and begins Masai style. Noah completes the copy technique, Masai style light shadow sword dance. His rapid slashes break through the armored shell and force the monster backward. The imitation carries enough power to breach its defense. Now Noah attacks again before the monster can recover. His remaining strikes tear tear across the battlefield and batter the armored monster. The final blows shatter the last rocky creature, blocking the expedition's advance. The soldiers realize Noah's copied Light Shadow Sword dance is far beyond 2-star strength. Still, Bro knows he hasn't drawn out the technique's full power, so Noah leaves the expedition. Noah tells a soldier he has private business. He enters the mana-filled forest alone to find the anomaly's source. Our boy already knows what caused the mana pool, and turns out the mana pools aren't natural. A hidden magic tool is pulling in mana from across the forest. Someone created them on purpose, and Noah follows the manipulated mana to a colossal tree. He splits the trunk with one strike and retrieves the hidden ring. Found it. The ring doesn't stop the attack. A violent surge tears through the forest. Noah finds 2 fighters already struck down. Then now, one injured fighter warns Dude that more monsters are closing in. Another creature attacks, so Noah moves to protect the survivors. A huge horde surrounds the guy and Zenon as the surviving fighters regroup. They prepare to stop the creatures before they reach the wounded and children. So Noah and Zenon lead the defense against a giant armored monster. Smaller creatures rush in behind it while Noah searches for whoever controls them. So Bro fights the attackers with his fused power as the defenders struggle. A soldier shouts a warning, forcing Noah to watch both sides. No room for mistakes. During the confusion, a soldier attacks this guy, but Noah cuts him down. He orders the defenders to keep buying time while he gathers more power. Noah must protect the frightened child and end the attack. The child identifies the device as the Mana Absorption Chalice. That confirms someone is manipulating mana to drive the creatures into a frenzy. Bro survives another brutal clash and finally has a trail to follow. But Noah channels tracking magic through the chalice's mana connection. The spell traces its source into the forest and reveals a hooded enemy. Our hero finally has a target. The tracking spell works and Noah says, "Found you." He orders the defenders to protect the children while he hunts the source. Monsters block his path, so he cuts straight through them. Noah wipes out the remaining beasts with a burst of mana and holy power. He pushes deeper into the forest, but an attack catches him in a clearing. Dude stops and prepares to counter, and Noah calls for the hidden enemy to show himself. The masked attacker answers with a surprise strike, but our boy blocks it. He immediately forces the attacker back. Then the masked attacker admits he's surprised Noah sensed him. Noah demands the name of whoever sent him. The ambush becomes an interrogation with Noah's sword pointed at the attacker. The masked attacker refuses to reveal his employer, so Bro threatens to force out the answer. Their blades collide through several exchanges, but neither fighter gains a clear advantage. The attacker finally uses a named technique. Then the masked attacker unleashes Dark Mist Swing Blade and fills the area with violent slashes. Noah channels demonic power through his sword and meets the technique directly. Their concentrated attacks crash together. The guy takes Dark Mist Swing Blade head-on, and the collision tears across the battlefield. He escapes the blast with only a small cut. Noah turns the exchange against the masked attacker. Now Noah still takes a painful hit during the clash. The masked attacker asks why Noah's earlier power has changed. Bro spots the imbalance immediately. His mana core control is 5-star, but his physical ability is 4-star. His swordsmanship is only 3-star. His blade work is amateur. So, the masked attacker pours his 5-star mana core control into one crushing strike. Noah meets it directly, launches him upward, and follows before he recovers. Noah keeps pushing through the collision, but the masked attacker forms another mana blade. He claims, "This is easy to handle. This guy broke through once, but the fight isn't settled." So Noah takes the next strike head on. Noah gathers his fused power. He activates Dark Light Shift and tears through the mana blade at high speed. And Dude shoots past the masked attacker before he can track the movement. The attacker recognizes the technique and raises his sword, but Noah is already behind his guard. Noah's Dark Light Shift lands before the masked attacker can react. It tears open his throat. He drops his sword before collapsing in blood. But the masked attacker is still alive, despite those severe wounds. Noah gathers his fused power for the finishing strike and recalls Julia Daskul's swordsmanship. And our hero can copy any technique once he understands its principles. That includes styles from both the Daskul and Glorious families. Still, copying isn't his final goal. He starts reshaping those styles around his unique mana holy core. So, the masked attacker claims Noah's new power still isn't enough. Their next clash drives him backward and leaves him stunned. Wounded and cornered, he activates monsterification and gives up his human form for greater strength. So Noah recognizes monsterification and attacks before the transformation's new strength can take over. The transformed attacker immediately lunges back with far greater force. Then the transformed attacker keeps charging, and Bro channels fused power through his sword. Noah meets him head-on with an upward slash. Their attacks collide, but neither result is clear yet. The clash knocks Noah backward. He finally sees how much stronger the transformed attacker has become. The attacker asks how long our boy can endure. Noah answers with another hard slash. But Bro catches the transformed attacker during its next charge and cuts into it. The attacker can't believe Noah still breaks through. Noah regains some ground, but the duel continues. So the guy keeps attacking through several more exchanges. Still, neither his sword nor his fused power breaks the enemy's enhanced strength and defenses. So Noah launches another aerial assault. Noah drives the transformed attacker backward. awkward. It braces and survives. Raw force isn't enough, so dude starts searching for one decisive opening. The transformed attacker commits everything to a full force charge, trying to end the deadlock. Noah stays calm. Noah waits for the opening he needs. Then Noah channels his fused mana holy core through his blade and blocks the overwhelming strike. The attacker closes in again, forcing this guy beyond the limits of his copied techniques. The transformed enemy's strike crushes through Noah's barrier, but that pressure gives him the answer. His mana holy core can reproduce his past life techniques, taking him beyond ordinary imitation. So, Noah channels both powers through his sword and completes Magic Holy style beyond blade. His original strike tears through the transformed enemy's enhanced defenses, and Noah's Magic Holy style beyond blade breaks through the transformed attacker and ends the clash. He finally exhales, knowing his first original technique just saved his life. Now bro leaves the defeated controller and heads back toward the other survivors. They're still blocking the monster's attacks and their defense is close to collapsing. The exhausted defenders reach their limit, but every monster suddenly stops attacking. Their blows never land, leaving the survivors confused but alive. Then the remaining monsters calm down because Noah killed the person controlling them. Noah returns and says, "I've taken care of the one responsible for the monster's frenzies." Several young students are still wounded or unconscious after the attack. Since the attackers targeted our hero, he blames himself for putting those children in danger. He vows to find whoever planned this. And Noah starts investigating as he heads toward the Daskul estate. Lydia says the family's information broker can provide the best leads. That gives bro a direct path toward whoever ordered the attack. So Noah follows that lead to the information broker's estate. A guard blocks the entrance and warns that family ties won't get him inside. Noah won't abandon the investigation, so he stays outside the estate. He's ready to force the standoff toward an answer. Lydia confirms Eve Daskul is the family's information broker. She's the person most likely to identify who targeted our boy and the students. Noah gathers his mana holy power. Noah refuses to leave without answers. So Cease Daskul blocks dude from meeting Eve Daskul, but Noah demands passage. When Noah prepares to force his way through, Cease Daskul answers, "Fine, have it your way." Cease Daskul closes in with his sword, following through on the warning, and drops in with a descending strike. Noah releases his mana holy power instead of retreating. Cease Daskul meets Noah in a direct blade clash, creating a violent shockwave. Bro blocks the second son's heavy overhead attack. His raw strength is enough to hold firm against Cease Daskul, and Noah braces for another exchange. But Cease Daskul counters with Stone Lance. The ground erupts and the blast overwhelms the battlefield. But sharp fragments rain toward Noah and catch him off guard. He recovers quickly. He clears them with a powerful mana holy sword slash. Noah's slash destroys the falling shards and breaks through the assault. Nearby, an unidentified hand channels an unknown ritual through a stone pedestal. Then this guy prepares to intercept an enormous strike as Cease swings down with both hands. Noah channels mana holy power again while facing the shield-bearing fighter's next attack. Cease takes Noah's mana holy strike head on, but the impact doesn't stop him. He spins into a fast counterattack, forcing bro to block the wide slash. Then Noah appraises Cease Daskul. Noah sees the difference. Cease Daskul has 8-star physical ability, 8-star swordsmanship, and 5-star magic. Noah pours more power through his mana holy core and launches a huge counterattack. So Cease Daskul freezes at the scale of Noah's mana holy core. The counterattack tears through the surrounding buildings. Cease finally accepts that his sickly brother is dangerous, gathers his power, and retaliates. So our hero remembers Zenon's explanation of the Daskul family's basic styles. Irai's style focuses on speed. Its signature strike is considered unavoidable. Cease Daskul uses that technique, forcing Noah against a perfected family style. Dude counters the supposedly unavoidable Irai strike with an attack of his own. His study of the family styles lets him challenge the perfected technique. Noah's slash breaks through and forces Cease Daskul onto the defensive. Now Cease Daskul retaliates with a huge slash that tears through the hull. Noah raises his blade as the attack closes in. He meets it directly, bringing their power and technique into one decisive collision. So Noah pours all his power into the counterattack and drives straight through the incoming slash. Their strikes collide in a huge blast, but neither swordsman wins the duel. The impact sends cutting waves through the nearby trees and structures. Our boy doesn't let up. He steadies his sword. He prepares another decisive strike, and Noah pushes his gathered power through the clash, but his copied sword styles still remain incomplete. Raw strength can't break that limit. He needs techniques built for his mana holy core, but he doesn't know where to start. And before bro can try again, Cease Daskul ends the duel by saying, "That's enough." A young woman arrives at the estate, stopping Noah from testing another answer. Inside the estate, the bystander asks why the duel started. Cease explains that Noah was giving off bloodlust and seemed ready to attack anyone blocking him. Then the bystander calmly says she isn't much of a fighter. Cease reacts with surprise, making it clear that her claim isn't credible. Now the guy hears why the Book of Yuan is so difficult to reach. The Infinite Library is a labyrinth with no known size. Its lost knowledge attracts adventurers and scholars, while stronger monsters wait deeper inside. So the bystander asks Noah to retrieve the Book of Yuan from the Infinite Library. Bro already knows the book, and he understands this isn't an ordinary search. So Noah Noah remembers the book changing magical theory and saving countless lives during his previous war. Even that knowledge can't prevent the world's destruction. He decides to obtain it much earlier this time and change that outcome. Noah accepts the bystander's request, and they seal the deal. He starts traveling toward the infinite library with both maids, and they react with surprise, but this guy remains calm as the journey begins. Noah reaches the infinite library with his attendants, but a knight warns him about its maze. Anyone who loses the correct route becomes trapped inside, and dude needs a reliable guide before searching for the Book of Yuan. But Noah urgently searches the nearby city for help while an unknown pursuer trails him. Elsewhere, a noble woman calmly reads a note, and its contents and connection to Noah remain unclear. Skull Daskal enters a private lounge where Eve Daskal gives him a cold welcome. He carries himself confidently and expects this meeting to advance his plans against our hero. Skull Daskal politely asks Eve Daskal to borrow your strength, sister. He wants information about Noah's growing power. The request pulls the family's information broker directly into his scheme, and Skull Daskal confirms East Daskal left on Victor Daskal's urgent request. He claims nobody remains to protect Eve Daskal, and she stays calm and says her capable subordinates are enough. Then Skull Daskal reveals why he used Cease Daskal's absence. He wants Eve Daskal to uncover the secret behind Noah's strength. When she refuses, he suddenly threatens her and tries forcing her cooperation. Eve Daskal refuses to favor Skull Daskal because every other contender would target her. Remaining neutral protects her position as the family's information broker. Even while restrained, she demands compensation worth taking that risk. Then Skull Daskal answers, "You'll find out soon enough," and refuses to negotiate. His faction holds Eve Daskal captive inside the estate. He intends to force her into exposing the source of Noah's strength. Elsewhere, Noah doesn't know Skull Daskal has captured Eve Daskal. He crosses the city with an escort, still searching for a route into the infinite library. Now bro finds the old magic item shop tied to his search and enters carefully. Inside, he recognizes the shop from his previous life. He admits this brings back memories because that knowledge may help him navigate the library. So now Noah asks the shopkeeper to guide him through the infinite library. Nobody knows its paths better. The shopkeeper says he quit guiding, then gets angry when Noah calls him the best. Turns out flattery's the one attack he can't block. The shopkeeper keeps shouting, but a woman suddenly enters and attacks. Our boy draws his sword immediately. His search for a guide becomes a fight. The swordswoman confronts Noah, but the suspicious shopkeeper cuts their exchange short. He says something urgent needs their attention, tells them, "Come this way," and leads them into a private room. And inside, an unconscious woman lies motionless in bed, and the shopkeeper watches her closely and asks for their help. Her condition is serious, and it connects directly to the mission ahead. So, the shopkeeper explains that a curse has trapped her in a deep sleep. It will eventually kill her. Every skilled adventurer he hired has failed. They must confront the monster tied to the infinite library. The swordswoman volunteers Bro to kill the monster without asking him first. She joins the expedition with quiet confidence, while Noah remains wary of her intentions and the mission. And at the tower, the soldiers cheer when Noah and Julia Daskal arrive. Julia asks why he's here while assigned elsewhere, but the guy assures her that it's fine. So Julia finally explains why she joined him. During their earlier clash, Noah blocked her using power that didn't feel like a mana core. She plans to uncover his secret and learn what the dungeon is hiding. Eve Daskal apologizes for delaying the expedition, and dude orders everyone forward. And Noah, Julia Daskal, and Eve Daskal enter with their escorts. Together, they head toward the sealed library. Then meanwhile, the guards discuss the curse's victims as the party reaches the ornate entrance. The guide identifies it as the infinite library, and he channels energy into the doors and unlocks the way inside. The guide breaks the seal, and Noah enters the infinite library with Julia Daskal. Countless shelves stretch before them, making the search look nearly endless. But Julia Daskal quickly realizes they'll need expert guidance through this maze. This guy suddenly sees a warrior attacking a huge armored enemy and its army. The vision points to knowledge connected with a devastating battle. So the vision continues as a swordsman clashes with a towering armored enemy. Noah realizes the library may hold clues for defeating enemies this powerful. With that settled, he orders, "Alright, let's move out." Bro moves through the twisting archive, ready for another fight. He searches the towering shelves for the Yuan. The rarest books are stored higher up, so Noah keeps pushing deeper, and he eventually reaches a broad plaza containing a magic circle. Then the circle activates and summons 3 armed monsters to block them. Noah knows these guardians protect plazas leading toward the next floor. Defeating them will confirm the route upward and keep their search moving. Our hero answers, "No problem," and swings his sword once. The sweeping strike clears all 3 guardians, confirming they found the route upward. The expedition moves on before more guardians can block the route. Noah and Julia Daskal reach the Infinite Library's 10th floor. There, they continue searching for the Yuan. And on the 10th floor, Xenon tells them to keep his discovery secret, and he retrieves a specific book and leads them deeper into the library. Bro, Julia Daskal, and Xenon find a hidden magic circle there. Now the hidden circle activates and transports all 3 into another huge archive, and Julia Daskal asks where they are, but nobody has an answer. They cautiously continue searching the unfamiliar section. Now, Noah, Julia Daskal, their guide follow another magic circle into a stone chamber. As they approach, the circle activates and summons a huge monster covered in roots and tendrils. Then the creature fills the chamber, revealing several eyes and clawed tendrils. Noah and Julia Dascool ready themselves to fight the Guardian, blocking their search. Julia Dascool brushes off Noah's concern and insists she can handle the Guardian alone. She attacks before anyone can intervene, forcing the creature to reveal its many-eyed true form. And Cease Dascool meets the descending spikes head-on and cuts through them. He breaks the attack before it can overwhelm the group, so the impact throws Cease Dascool backward, revealing the spikes came from the many-eyed monster. He recovers immediately. He cuts into it before it can reach our boy. Now, Cease Dascool aims for the creature's core, but his blade can't pierce its sturdy body. The monster quickly coils around him, leaving Noah without his protection. The creature tightens its coils as it fully emerges, and Dude rushes forward. Before Cease Dascool gets crushed, Noah unleashes Shadow Flame style, fifth form, and blasts the monster open. So Julia Dascool uses Noah's opening and activates Shadow Flame Black Armor. The technique trades endurance for enough offensive power to face the monster directly. Julia Dascool completes Shadow Flame Black Armor, which Noah recognizes as the Armor of Flames. With its offensive power unleashed, she prepares to attack. Julia Dascool charges straight in and slices through the tendrils before they restrain her. She tears apart the monster's defenses and closes in for the finishing strike. And Julia Dascool drives her blade into the many-eyed monster and releases her attack's full power. The strike critically wounds it and tears through the area. The guy gets hurled away from the clash. But Julia Dascool's strike pierces the monster and knocks her blade loose. She stays in control. She walks through the wreckage. She declares that the creature was chosen to test her blade. The guide warns Julia Dascool that the fight isn't finished. Before anyone can help, the surviving tendrils wrap around her. She expected the counterattack. She calmly releases another strike and breaks free. Then Julia Dascool's renewed attack makes the area too dangerous. Noah grabs the guide. Noah runs as debris and her loose blade tear past them. They flee before her clash catches them too. Behind Bro, Julia Dascool's attack lands directly on the monster. It screams as crossed slashes rip through the area. Blood and debris burst everywhere. Then Noah and the pack-carrying guide race through the collapsing passage. Another huge slash catches them and sends Noah flying. They crash onto the frozen ground and realize they've both survived. So Julia Dascool walks out unharmed and asks whether this guy wants to keep fighting. Noah barely survived getting thrown across the passage. Her calm approach makes the difference in their strength painfully clear, surviving his own teammates becoming a required skill. Shadow Flame style burns through Julia Dascool's energy and sacrifices endurance. However, its offensive power remains unmatched across the continent. Bro avoids another fight. The expedition continues deeper into the Infinite Library. After avoiding another clash, Noah returns to the search. The guide finds an ornate book while Noah recognizes the floor from his previous visit. He explains that monsters only appear in plazas leading upstairs. Now our hero uses that rule to guide Julia Dascool and the guide through the plaza. They find a mural showing two armored warriors fighting. An ornate book waits on a pedestal beneath it. Noah opens the book and says, "Found it." Its contents hold the clue they've been searching for. So Dude, Julia Dascool and Cease Dascool move forward with their swords drawn. A horned armored guardian blocks their path, and the guardian advances with blood dripping from one claw. Noah raises his sword and says, "Time for some monster hunting." And Noah holds his ground while the guardian raises its jagged weapon. Another direct clash is coming. Before our boy can attack, the swordsman steps forward and claims the guardian. He orders Noah back. He prepares a powerful strike. Then the guardian counters with its claws, but the swordsman intercepts it. His full-powered slash lands and drives the guardian back. Julia Dascool follows with another strike and pushes the guardian farther back. It counters hard, leaving her struggling to hold the front. So the guardian buries Julia Dascool under a rapid series of attacks. She can't recover and admits, "I can't believe I'm being overpowered." So Julia Dascool knows their wounded group can't survive a long fight. She launches a decisive attack to immobilize the guardian. Meanwhile, Cease Dascool attacks another guardian head-on with a powerful strike. Skull Dascool joins him. Their clash triggers a huge explosion. Julia Dascool keeps the remaining guardian busy, but it blocks her powerful slash head-on. Bro watches and realizes the guardian is stronger than expected. Julia Dascool needs a stronger technique to break its defense. But Julia Dascool attacks before the guardian recovers. She unleashes Shadow Flame style, second form, Shadow Flame Vortex, and engulfs it in fire. The Shadow Flame Vortex hits cleanly and drives the horned guardian backward. Repeated slashes follow, and the final crushing strike buries it. Flames cover the battlefield, so Noah can't confirm whether the guardian is finished. Noah's allies stagger another armored guardian with a direct attack. It counters immediately. It draws blood. Their combined assault still can't finish it, leaving the group frustrated. And Julia Dascool knocks the armored guardian down, but its armor remains unscratched. Before she and Noah find another opening, it charges its blade. A powerful energy blast is coming. Then Julia Dascool fights through her wounds and answers with a huge energy slash. The violent clash leaves her badly injured. The guy catches her amid the wreckage, but their strongest attacks still haven't won the battle. The Guardian keeps Noah and Julia Dascoul pinned beneath its attack. A severed clawed limb nearby shows how brutal the fight has become. Julia Dascoul's injured arm can't channel enough power for a killing blow. Their strongest attacker can't finish it. Then Julia Dascoul asks whether Bro can use his power one more time. The group needs one decisive strike. Cease Dascoul attacks the huge Guardian, holding it back and creating an opening for Noah. Cease Dascoul follows with Shadow Flame Sword Dance as Noah channels his own power. They strike together, but the Guardian blocks them. The collision triggers an explosion that engulfs everyone, leaving the result unclear. Now the blast tears through the library, but Julia Dascoul and Xenon survive. They're still under attack. Xenon confronts the next Guardian. Xenon buys the wounded Julia Dascoul time. The group keeps searching for a way through its armor, so their combined strike doesn't finish the armored Guardian, and it immediately launches another huge attack. This guy meets it head on. The collision forces his mana holy power even higher. He keeps searching for a way through armor that has blocked every borrowed technique. Now the Guardian's blade overpowers Noah and buries him beneath the impact. He forces himself back into the clash and counters its next attack. Dude moves faster with every exchange, but still can't land a finishing strike. Julia Dascoul starts Iron Style's second form to break the deadlock. Before she can finish, the Guardian charges another energy blast. Noah stands directly in its path, so Julia Dascoul urgently calls his name, and Noah responds with Meisei Style, Bipolar Single Blade. He pours his mana holy power into a direct sword clash. Retreat isn't possible because it would leave the wounded Julia Dascoul exposed. Noah's Meisei Style, Bipolar Single Blade engulfs the Guardian and appears to damage it. Still, the enemy survives and prepares another strike. Our hero has to continue fighting instead of protecting Julia Dascoul. Noah meets the Guardian blade to blade, but the clash quickly turns against him. He copies Julia Dascoul's Shadow Flame Vortex and releases it at full force. The wounded Julia Dascoul braces against the blast that follows, and the copied Shadow Flame Vortex doesn't leave a single scratch. Bro considers retreating, but the Guardian moves to finish the wounded Julia Dascoul. Noah drops that plan. Noah rushes in to protect her, so a second Guardian blocks Noah before he can rescue Julia Dascoul. Both are cornered. His copied techniques have reached their limit. Right then, our boy awakens as the Divine Authority Core's first successor in centuries. Noah drives his newly awakened technique straight into the Guardian. The Divine Authority Core confirms him as its first successor in centuries. Its system unlocks immediately after. Then the Divine Authority Core surges through Bro and wrecks the surrounding library. He finally has enough power to break the Guardian's defenses. Noah raises his weapon and warns, "You've had your fun long enough." Noah answers the Guardian and promises, "I'm paying you back twofold." He sweeps the Divine Authority Core through it. Cease Dascoul supports the attack, and together they crack its defenses. The Guardian takes heavy damage, but the Divine Authority Core accepts Noah's attack and unlocks a stronger release. He pours everything into an overhead strike. A huge blast erupts, forming a colossal armored figure around him for the next exchange. So the stronger release completes Noah's technique, and the armored form advances beside him. Its huge shape recalls an ancient battlefield. Armored forces once faced a giant enemy there, tying Noah's awakening to that older conflict. Noah's awakening pulls him into broken visions of an old disaster. A dying man says an ancient power was deliberately divided, and that division prevents it from ever rising again. One half is golden, while the other is dark purple. The vision questions whether betrayal alone stopped the guy from defeating the ancient invaders. His past life confidence answers through the memory. "Of course, I would have wiped them all out." The divided power gathers for another clash. Then Noah brings that confidence back into the present and releases the Divine Authority Core through his blade. His strike detonates against the armored Guardian. Their weapons remain locked and neither side gives way. Dude holds back the armored Guardian and carries their clash above the library. The impact sends a shockwave through the structure below. He channels even more power through the Divine Authority Core. His next attack meets the Guardian's energy, causing a huge explosion. Noah pushes straight through the collision instead of backing away. He breaks the Guardian's defense and cuts through its armor. His empowered blade drives into its body. The Guardian screams from the potentially fatal wound, and Noah finishes the wounded Guardian and counts. That's one. The Divine Authority Core can break their armor. No question now. Another Guardian attacks immediately, keeping him trapped in the fight. The library apparently stocks these things in bulk. Now the remaining Guardian fires a powerful energy attack at this guy. He stands firm. He counters with the Divine Authority Core. Their attacks collide and engulf the library, but the outcome remains unclear. The blast tears through the library, but the remaining Guardian survives. It charges Noah with its curved blade. Bro pushes more power through the Divine Authority Core and attacks again. Then now, the force hurls Julia Dascoul through the broken library. Noah commits to one decisive sword strike. A huge beam erupts, but an unidentified shape appears inside it. The Guardian may still be standing. The final Guardian falls, and Noah survives the blast that wrecks the infinite library. Someone he recognizes confirms that he awakened a new power, and our hero decides to strengthen it through battle. And Julia Dascoul confirms the Guardian is dead despite her injury. The library lies in ruins around them. Noah's new power destroyed an enemy that survived every earlier attack. book. So Julia Daskell approaches Noah while wounded and studies the technique that won the fight. His attack doesn't belong to any established magic sword style. That makes Noah's new power uniquely dangerous. The known disciplines include foundational magic swordsmanship and the offense-focused Shadow Flame style. There's also the speed-focused Shadow Thunder style and Deep Darkness. Noah's technique matches none of them. It's outside the existing system. Julia Daskell confirms Noah's technique doesn't belong to any established magic sword style. She recognizes its unique danger. Julia promises to challenge him for their mana cores someday. So Noah retrieves the book and returns to the castle, and inside he finds a room completely ransacked. An unidentified person lies collapsed among the scattered belongings. Bro realizes someone infiltrated the manor and searched the room. He kills the spy. The dead man served Eve Daskell and secretly gathered information inside her manor. Zenon proposes rescuing Eve Daskell, even though they'll openly oppose Skull Daskell. Noah agrees to confront him. Sais joins the rescue party with a remorseful soldier, and the soldier wants to correct his earlier failure. And our boy orders everyone to hold formation, even against superior numbers, and a knight agrees to end this quickly. Together they push through the damaged hall without stopping. But Noah and the knight are already riding hard toward Eve Daskell. The knight asks if she's safe. This is a rescue now. Cease Daskell asks why Noah became Eve Daskell's guard. The question brings back a harsh Daskell rule. A child with an inferior mana core stands beneath their siblings. They must survive through unpredictable combat. Then that explains the explosive, irregular attacks dude faced before. He finally understands why Cease Daskell's style was so unpredictable. Noah keeps that realization quiet. Noah continues toward Eve Daskell. Sais races toward Skull Daskell's estate and vows to grow stronger. He also promises to protect Eve Daskell, and once they arrive, the guy says hiding is pointless. The enemy already knows they're coming. Then Noah channels his new power. Noah fires a devastating opening strike across the estate. Sais charges behind him. They smash through the defensive line. They force their way toward Eve Daskell. So inside the estate, Skull Daskell's assassination unit cuts off Noah and Sais. Sais warns that they're experts. Bro engages the first assassin immediately, keeping the unit from stopping their rescue. More masked assassins close around them and reinforce the ambush. They believe Noah's open assault has exposed him. Their leader mocks his front door entrance. Skull Daskell's forces expected this rescue and prepared the defensive line. Noah refuses to waste time. Noah demands that they bring out their master. One assassin attacks instead. This guy blocks the strike and holds his ground. Now Noah counters and hurls the assassin aside. The others charge together and promise no mercy for opposing their master. Noah meets their coordinated assault head-on. Noah keeps advancing toward Eve Daskell. Bro trades two explosive clashes with the masked assassin, but neither one gives ground. Noah presses forward again. The assassin barely reacts to his next strike. Meanwhile, another assassin attacks Sais while the remaining fighters surround our hero. He can't fight them one by one. Noah uses Shadow Lightning style. Third form, Shadow Lightning Severance, and fires lightning through their formation. And Noah's Shadow Lightning Severance tears through the assassins and scatters them. Their formation breaks, clearing the rescue party's path. Sais defeats another assassin, and Skull Daskell's defensive line starts collapsing. And one assassin still refuses to fall, warning Noah, don't underestimate us. The attacker activates another powerful technique. Dude braces himself before it can stop their advance toward Eve Daskell. Crossing slashes rain down from the assassin's secret technique. Noah braces against the assault as the attacker dives closer, trying to break his defense. Then now our boy appraises the assassin. His physical ability is rank 5, while his swordsmanship is 6-star rank. His mana core is 5-star rank. He possesses inherited secret techniques. As the assassin rushes forward, Noah prepares Kamui style, second form. Noah's Kamui style, second form, breaks through the clash and seals the assassin's 5-star mana core. The assassin realizes Noah's earlier strike cut off his mana. He can no longer use his inherited secret techniques. All those inherited secret techniques locked out in one swing. So Noah and Sais push through the remaining assassins despite being outnumbered. Sais helps clear the defensive line. Still, sealing another enemy's mana core proves difficult as they force a path toward Eve Daskell. So Sais tells Bro to leave the remaining assassins with him and hurry toward Eve Daskell. Noah breaks away even as several masked attackers surround him and strike together. The guy dodges their coordinated assault and counters with Stone Path. A stone spike rises beneath him, overpowering one masked assassin before Noah cuts the attacker down. Noah keeps racing toward Eve Daskell as the path collapses beneath him. The masked pursuers shout, "You're not going anywhere," and attack. Bro drives a huge formation of stone spikes through them and breaks their formation. But several pursuers are left fallen across the ruined path. Noah moves through the wreckage. Noah faces the last assassin directly. He asks, "I'm the one you're dealing with, aren't I?" This guy attacks the final defender and keeps pushing toward Eve Daskell. Elsewhere, Skull Daskell demands information from her. Eve Daskell refuses, even even after he reveals that he captured several attendants as leverage. Fighting breaks out outside, and Skull Discool realizes someone breached his defenses. Eve Discool suspects Noah has come to rescue her. She condemns Skull's hostage-taking and says underhanded tactics don't suit members of the Discool family. And Skull Dascool welcomes the approaching fight, but Eve Dascool's defiance makes him draw his sword. Before he can punish her, Noah bursts into the chamber and blocks his attack. Dude also withstands the powerful slash that follows. Then Noah tells his bound sister that he's here to rescue her. He has finally reached the hostage chamber. Skull Dascool calls Noah's name and prepares to settle their conflict directly. Skull Dascool suddenly attacks with his sword, but our hero sees it coming and prepares to counter. Skull declares, "Let's settle this once and for all." He repositions and their decisive duel begins. Then Noah forces Skull Dascool backward and calmly returns the challenge. He asks, "You want to settle this?" Skull checks an open tome and answers, "Me?" He refuses to yield. Noah answers, "Obviously," and Skull Dascool launches a relentless magical assault. Bro stays calm and blocks each attack with his sword. Their clash sends a shockwave through the hostage chamber. Now the impact tears through the chamber and blasts one fighter backward. The duel continues. Noah and Skull Dascool collide again amid the debris. Skull Dascool drives down with another committed sword strike, so our boy parries Skull Dascool's committed strike and counters, sending him flying through the ruined chamber. Appraisal reveals Skull Dascool's strength. His physical ability is 6-star rank, while his swordsmanship reaches 7-star rank. His mana core is 8-star rank. He founded the Yuan style. Skull Dascool recovers and prepares to continue. So Noah demands to know why Skull Dascool targeted him. He also asks why Skull Dascool used children to deliver assassins. Skull Dascool admits he simply can't stand Noah and attacks in a rage. Bro counters the assault and blasts him backward again. Noah realizes Skull Dascool stepped outside the magic circle. That explains how Skull Dascool launched the explosive strike. Their blades collide again, and Skull Dascool finally explains his hatred. Their father acknowledged the guy whom Skull Dascool considers weak, and Skull Dascool pours that resentment into a killing blow. Noah withstands the impact. Noah counters with a slash. The strike wounds Skull Dascool and sends him flying backward. Noah follows through. Noah sends Skull Dascool skidding across the ground. His genuine swordsmanship lets him keep pressing the attack. Dude uses Yuan style, third form, and commits to a powerful finishing strike. But a giant skeletal creature intercepts Noah and knocks him backward. Skeleton swordsmen swarm behind it, threatening to overwhelm him. This guy recovers before they surround him. He tears through the advancing line with one wide slash, and Noah suspects the swarm is only a distraction. Still, the skeletons keep attacking and force him to defend himself. He can't reassess Skull Dascool's real plan yet. So Noah realizes the illusions have physical substance and can cause real wounds. He treats the approaching skeleton warriors as tangible enemies. One powerful slash destroys the first attacker. Bro follows that first kill with Shinwi style, second form. He drives a piercing, cross-shaped attack through the next skeletal enemy. The strike spreads outward into multiple slashing waves. Then the expanding attack destroys the surrounding skeleton warriors. Noah cuts through the remaining enemies before they can regroup. Despite their physical substance, he clears the immediate wave. Noah answers the remaining skeleton warriors with a huge crescent slash. The technique strains him, and another wave closes around him. But our hero cuts through the surrounding skeleton warriors and closes on an enemy swordsman among them. The man notices him too late. Noah drives his sword into him from behind, leaving him wounded. So more skeleton warriors rush Noah as Skull Dascool launches another ambush. Bro counters, destroys the surrounding summons, and reaches Skull Dascool. Their blades collide, but a skeletal hand attacks Noah from below. Our boy says it doesn't matter how many weaklings you summon. He sends wide sword strikes through Skull Dascool's forces and wounds him. Before Skull Dascool regains control, Noah follows with another energy strike. Skull keeps summoning extras. Noah keeps clearing them. Skull Dascool braces himself and meets Noah's follow-up head-on. Their clash tears apart the ground beneath them. Both brothers land separated inside the new crater. Then the skeleton dragon bursts from beneath the ruined ground before Noah can attack again. He dodges and regains his focus as Skull Dascool brings out his largest summon. Dude recognizes the creature as a skeleton dragon. It dives straight at him. He avoids the first attack and counters with Shinwi style, fifth form. Noah drives the technique into the skeleton dragon with full force. The strike wounds it badly enough to draw blood. He breaks away. He recovers after the clash, and the guy uses the dragon's wound to drive his blade into its head. That lets him seize control. Skull Dascool orders it to kill Noah, but Noah says resisting won't work. Now the skeleton dragon obeys Bro. He turns it against Skull Dascool. Skull Dascool refuses to accept the reversal. He counters with Yuan style, first form. Noah orders the controlled skeleton dragon to use shadow-piercing fang. The attack comes down hard, but Skull Dascool blocks it with his blade. Their attacks collide violently. Then this guy uses that clash to rush Skull Dascool himself. Skull Dascool swings from above, but Noah strikes first. His blade cuts Skull Dascool's side, leaving him bleeding and staggered. Skull Dascool can't beat Noah directly, so his faction enters the courtyard. They're holding Eve Duskull captive. The succession duel has become a hostage confrontation, and a guard presses his blade against Eve Duskull, warning Bro not to move. Noah stops immediately. Skull Duskull promises to free her only after he kills our hero. So Noah drops all restraint because Skull Duskull is using Eve Duskull against him. He overwhelms Skull Duskull. He lands a decisive sword strike. Skull Duskull crashes into the courtyard, bloodied and unable to continue. Now an armored guard steps in and shields Eve Duskull as Noah's attack fades. Skull Duskull is down, but Noah can't consider the duel settled until Eve Duskull is safe. The armored guard keeps Eve Duskull protected and turns on Skull Duskull. Skull Duskull can't believe it. The guard says Eve Duskull withdrew, so taking her hostage breaks the succession terms. So the armored guard's killing intent forces the wounded Skull Duskull to defend himself. Dude invokes the succession rules before anyone attacks. This fight is for a mana core, so outside interference must stop. Noah also warns the armored guard that interfering would break those same rules. The guard stays beside Eve Duskull. He allows our boy and Skull Duskull to resume their duel. Noah attacks immediately with Yuan style, 7th form. Skull Duskull summons blades to answer him. He threatens to hack Noah apart. He launches his counterattack, and Bro uses Yuan style's deception to block Skull Duskull's attack, but the clash wounds him. He keeps pushing because giving Skull Duskull room could let him finish the duel. But Noah and Skull Duskull keep trading fast strikes until their blades crash together. Debris blasts across the battlefield. Both remain standing without an advantage. The guy breaks the deadlock with Twin Heaven Violent Rip and catches Skull Duskull in the attack. Their powers collide and explode across the battlefield. Then Skull Duskull withstands the clash. Noah braces as his brother immediately counters. Skull Duskull uses UN style, 4th form, Avidia slash Shadow, and sends a huge slash forward. The mana core powered slash tears straight toward Noah. He refuses to surrender the duel. He intercepts it, but the attack breaks his defense and cuts his cheek. Then Bro tries to pull away after taking the hit, but Skull Duskull chases him immediately. He demands, "Where do you think you're going?" before Noah can recover. So Skull Duskull's attack crashes into Noah's counter, but this guy avoids a fatal wound. Even weakened, he survives the strike, leaving Skull Duskull stunned by his resilience. Another strike comes in, and Skull Duskull blocks as Noah launches a powerful counterattack. The collision causes a huge explosion, but the duel continues with another slash. Noah pushes through Yuan Style's many attacks, but Skull Duskull keeps relying on underhanded tactics. Furious, Dude condemns them as cowardly tricks. Now Skull Duskull finally explains why he refuses to stop. Victor Duskull called his illusion talent useless, and still ignored him after he created Yuan Style. Skull Duskull can't forgive that rejection, so he seeks recognition through this lethal succession battle. Skull Duskull vows to embrace villainy until Victor Duskull finally recognizes his power. Noah ends the debate, raises his sword, and says enough talk. So Skull Duskull unleashes Yuan Style, 9th form, dragon-slaying burial. It slams into our hero. Neither brother gives way in the collision, and a serpent-shaped force bears down on Noah, but he meets it head-on. Their attacks detonate and tear apart the surrounding area, and Noah holds firm, channeling both sides of his power through the sword. A huge dragon-shaped force surges forward for the decisive clash. Both brothers pour their remaining power into one final exchange. Skull Duskull believes Noah's mana core has already reached its limit. Then Skull Duskull claims a swordsman without mana can't defeat him. Lydia stays calm because Bro expected this limit. Noah reveals the mana pill he prepared. Our boy swallows the pill despite Skull Duskull's warning. It forces a mana core to overload and run wild. Noah survived its poison. Both sides of his power erupt instead. So Noah remembers his vow never to repeat his previous life's tragedy. He pushes through the danger and releases Shinui Style, 2nd form, Light Dark Flash. So Noah's Light Dark Flash strikes the opposing attack head-on. Their full power erupts into a huge dragon-shaped blast that overwhelms Skull Duskull's resistance. The blast detonates above the battlefield and expands into a crushing shockwave. It engulfs the surrounding land as Noah's attack reaches its peak. The blast fades and Skull Duskull drops to his knees while Bro stays standing. Noah claims Skull Duskull's mana core as the price of losing, but Skull Duskull refuses to surrender and launches one hidden final attack. The guy subdues him again and leaves him out of play. The surprise strike still leaves Noah with a critical wound. Blood runs across the stones while Noah keeps Skull Duskull restrained. His nearby allies notice that Noah's wound is getting worse. Skull Duskull's final attack leaves Dude bleeding heavily from the chest. Noah remains on one knee. He may die before help arrives, and Noah's consciousness starts fading, and the duel's final exchange runs through his mind. Skull Duskull tries to finish him, but this guy counters and strikes him down. Skull Duskull is left severely wounded. Then Noah collapses beside the motionless Skull Duskull and grips his bleeding side. He thinks, so this is how the Duskull family fights. His life begins slipping away. Zenon and Julia Duskull rush over as Noah collapses beside Skull Duskull. Zenon says the wound is fatal and the medical team can't arrive in time. Julia Duskull decides to save Bro herself. Then Julia Duskull uses Inca-style 1st form to stabilize Noah's fatal wound. Healing power surrounds him while blade-like fragments strike the ground nearby. Ordinary aid is already too late. fate, she keeps treating him. Her Inca style reaches deep into Noah's fatal chest wound and stabilizes him. Julia Daskull continues healing while dangerous remnants of the battle fall around them. Now Noah clings to life as broken memories begin surfacing. He remembers admitting that he hasn't mastered a technique. More memories return of the danger and destruction tied to seeking greater power, and he knows he must survive and keep growing. So once the treatment works, our hero tests his recovered power. Taking Skull Daskull's mana core raises his own by 3 ranks. His swordsmanship and holy core output still remain limited to 5-star. Now Noah rejoins Zenon beside the defeated Skull Daskull, and an ally admits nobody expected the youngest sibling to win. Noah's standing improves, though an unidentified observer remains wary while everyone assesses the result. Eve Daskull and Sais sense an unknown power around Noah, beyond an ordinary mana core. Before they can investigate, Victor's representative arrives with an urgent message, and Victor summons Bro to his castle over Skull Daskull's defeat. He confronts Noah with the report that he seized Skull's mana core and made it his own. Victor demands the truth. Our boy confirms that he fought Skull Daskull and won. He asks how strong Skull was, forcing Noah to judge the brother whose core he claimed. Noah says Skull had real strength, but Victor condemns how he used it for unforgivable crimes. Victor recognizes Noah's victory, though Dude expects far greater gains from his next destination. And Victor decides Noah won because he never stopped pursuing greater strength, and with that acknowledgement secured, the guy leaves by carriage. He warns his maids that this journey isn't for leisure, so one maid eagerly welcomes their destination, while the other stays cautious. Noah's party approaches Dragon Nest City Draconia, a fortified mountain city connected to the Dragon Clan. Same trip, 2 completely different travel reviews. Noah and Lydia's carriage approaches Draconia beneath the protection of mounted guards. Before they reach the gates, the carriage stops and interrupts their arrival. Then Noah prepares for trouble, but the riders identify themselves as Draconia's messengers. They offer to escort Bro and Lydia safely inside, confirming the Dragon Clan expects them. Noah spots movement above the mountains and stays alert as they approach Draconia, and once the messengers finish helping, he calmly thanks them for the escort. But that caution pays off when Ogre Tribe warriors attack the carriage and its escort. They charge through the defenders. This guy draws his sword and moves to protect Lydia. So the Dragon Utes and Ogre Tribe have fought for decades because their values can't coexist. As fighting surrounds them, Noah orders Lydia and Selena to hide inside the carriage. He'll face the attackers alone. The Ogre leader calls Noah weak and claims the Dragon Utes must be desperate for his help. Bro stands firm and offers the Ogres one chance to leave peacefully. Noah's power surges as he repeats, "Leave now and I'll let you walk away." The Ogre leader takes the warning as an insult and attacks, forcing Noah to meet him head on. Then their powers collide in a huge blast, but our hero doesn't give any ground. The Ogre still refuses to retreat, so Noah grips his sword and closes the distance. The Ogre's strike sends Noah crashing through several layers of rock. Dude regains control while falling and prepares a counter before reaching the stone platform below. Noah turns the fall into an opening and uses Shinny style first form light dark flash. The energy tears through the broken rock and races toward the Ogre leader. And the Ogre leader powers through Noah's light dark flash, closes in, and lands another heavy punch. Our boy crashes through the remaining rock and hits the ground, leaving a huge crater. Now Noah recovers and counters with his sword, knocking the Ogre into another crater. The Ogre leader calls Noah's technique sloppy and says brute force is carrying him. He mocks Noah for attacking from above, then prepares another counterattack. Bro intercepts the Ogre leader's counterattack and cuts him down. He challenges every remaining enemy to attack together, planning to end the ambush at once. So the remaining enemies rush Noah together, but he cuts through them and sends them flying. He follows with Twin Heaven Rend against the airborne beast. Noah completes Twin Heaven Rend and launches the last beast away. Lightning charge strikes tear through the others, ending the ambush. The maids praise the guy and call witnessing his victories their duty. And as Noah prepares to leave, a dragon arrives overhead and its rider lands and introduces himself as a Draconia captain. He stops the party before they can continue toward the Dragon King. Then the Draconia captain calls Bro a weakling and refuses to entrust the Dragon King to him. He challenges Noah's right to continue. Once that's settled, Draconian riders escort the party through town toward the outer gate. Everyone in the city gets exactly one guess about his strength. Now the escort takes Noah beyond the town and toward a remote cavern. The cave leads to the Dragon King, but several beasts occupy the dark passage. The escorts guide Noah through the misty cavern until they reach a sealed dragon-carved gate. An armored escort announces, "I have brought Lord this guy." Someone inside responds by opening the way. So Noah enters the dark chamber with the escort, but a sudden force tears through the passage. He braces against the pressure and keeps moving toward whoever summoned him. The pressure narrows into a direct attack. Dude and the arriving group protect each other as energy slashes close in. Before they're overwhelmed, the Dragon King intervenes and calls Noah my young ally. Now the Dragon King releases enough power to stop the confrontation, and Noah and the escorts face the towering ruler, finally reaching the promised audience. So our hero moves ahead while the maids and guards stay behind, and Alkados greets him with mockery, testing the Dazkul's successor before granting an audience. But Noah answers by releasing his combined mana and holy power. The surge wipes away Alkados' amusement, and he realizes bro is far stronger than expected. Alkados explains why the dragon newts need Noah. They've fought the ogre clan for years, but recent battles have turned against them, and each mark records another dragon not defeat, and Alkados adds one more. His forces keep losing ground, so Noah's help could determine whether they survive. Alkados is also nearing the end of his life. The dragon newts could soon lose both the war and the king holding them together. Then Noah learns Alkados' remaining power will become dangerous after his death. In Noah's previous life, an S-rank criminal obtained that power and caused widespread destruction. It must stay secure. Then our boy accepts Alkados' request because that power can't cause another catastrophe. Alkados thanks him and promises valuable materials for protecting the dragon newts. The dragon newts promise Noah their full support. Their reports suggest the ogre clan's recent victories come from obtaining the 8 treasures. Bro finally has a lead. Noah decides to investigate the 8 treasures and use his family's information network. While searching town, he learns both races are preparing for full-scale war. He needs the source of the ogre clan's advantage quickly. Now Noah studies a monument for clues about the war. A hooded observer watches him in secret. Nearby, an unidentified person lies badly wounded after the recent violence. Noah's search leads him straight to Liliana Seraphine, his lover from his previous life. She never expected this reunion. Still, his sudden approach surprises her because her next performance isn't scheduled yet. Now, the guy confirms Saint Liliana is truly Liliana Seraphine. Her former holy power has fallen to B-rank holy mana. She also works as a bard now, showing how much her life has changed. So her strength may have declined, but Noah still trusts her with the crisis. Liliana Seraphine realizes the Dragon Clan and Ogre Clan are heading toward war. She agrees to help him prepare, and Dude shows Liliana Seraphine his fused power, and its dark appearance makes her cautious, but she senses the holy power inside. Once she confirms his identity and strength, they quietly reunite as lovers. Noah sees that Liliana Seraphine's circumstances have changed, but her personality remains familiar. With their reunion settled, he knows who can support his next plan, and that cooperation will require a personal sacrifice. And so, Noah seals their partnership with a handshake outside the castle, and once they reach an agreement, he heads toward the remote mountain fortress. The next part of his preparations waits there. This guy reaches a deserted mountain settlement with his companion, and they came to strengthen their forces before the coming battle. However, a suspicious magic tool nearby catches his attention immediately, so Noah examines the magic tool near the ruins. A buried giant sword and nearby cave mark its source. His power suddenly reacts, confirming an active magical threat inside the cavern. Then the cavern's defender begins a large-scale magical technique. Bro charges forward before the coming strike can control the battlefield. He reaches the defender directly. Noah breaks through with a mana holy sword strike and follows with a powerful kick. The defender can't withstand the combination. Their collision tears through the cavern before its force finally fades. With the defender down, Noah and the mage cross the unstable crystal chasm. They keep moving through the cave with Noah's sword ready. The magical danger isn't over yet, but a robe defender blocks their route and refuses to move. Our hero and the mage press deeper while active runes control the path ahead. The cave changes around Noah and the mage as they enter. Before they can investigate, an attack drops from above. Both prepare to fight. 3 reptilian monsters spot them and move through the cavern. Bro guards one side while the mage prepares a spell behind him. So the mage stays back to support Noah. He meets the first beast head on. He drives his sword through its claws. Then Noah's strike tears through the first beast. He keeps swinging. He cuts apart the others before they can surround the pair. Noah finishes with one wide slash through the remaining monsters. Their bodies drop around him. The immediate attack finally ends, and a larger beast lashes out with its tail. But our boy refuses help. He says, "I can handle this on my own." Noah closes in and drives a heavy strike into it. The larger beast roars in pain from Noah's strike. Another creature lunges at the mage, forcing her to ready a counterspell. Now the mage finishes her spell and blasts the beast into the rubble. Another monster charges through the debris before either of them can recover. Then the mage insists she can protect herself, but Dude hasn't faced monsters like these before. She explains that the cave gathers the Dragon Clan's power. That power causes the creatures inside to evolve in unusual ways. Monsters exposed to that power for too long can become disaster-class beasts. Once the latest attacker falls, Noah realizes their destination is far more dangerous than expected. So Noah confirms they're here to retrieve a magic tool. He wants it for protection against the dangers ahead, and the guy and the mage continue toward the deepest part of the cave. And inside the deepest chamber, they find a sword embedded in the rock. Their target is finally within reach. They move closer to secure it. Before the mage can take the sword, Noah warns her to move back. Magical blades drop around them to protect it. Bro intercepts them, but one blast lands near the mage and exposes the trap. Apparently every relic here comes with fine print. The trap awakens a huge horned guardian and sends debris crashing around them. Noah carries the injured mage to safety, then launches rapid slashes. The strikes leave the guardian bleeding, so the wounded guardian keeps fighting and charges them again. Noah shields the mage, steps into its attack, and brings down a powerful slash. So the guardian fires a steady blast of flame, but this guy holds his ground. He raises his sword to counter again. The startled mage braces for another clash. With the guardian's flames bearing down, the mage casts Holy Ring barrier around them. The shield holds while Noah sends flying blades toward the guardian. It must attack both the barrier and the incoming weapons. And Noah's spinning blades keep cutting through the flames as fire fills the cavern. The blast strikes the barrier directly, but the shield absorbs it. Both fighters survive, and the exchange continues. The mage strengthens her barrier while the guardian's blades keep pressing against it. That gives Bro time to attack directly. He blocks its next claw head on, but the impact strains his defense. But the guardian's claw breaks through and wounds Noah. He counters before it can strike again. Noah gathers mana and holy power into his sword, swings down, and lands a direct hit. Then the strike tears into the guardian, but the wounded beast keeps fighting. Our hero meets another claw and cuts its leg, forcing it back. Behind him, the mage's barrier holds against the shockwaves. So, the mage attacks through the opening Noah creates. She invokes Uphold the Laws and casts Holy Ring Pillar. Concentrated holy power slams into the guardian. The holy attack hits the guardian, but the battle destabilizes the chamber. The mage warns Dude that the cave will collapse soon. He must finish the fight without damaging the structure further. Then Noah compresses his mana and holy power into one narrow area. This keeps its strength while limiting damage around them. He launches Light Dark Flash directly at the guardian. Noah's Light Dark Flash reaches the guardian, but it fires back with concentrated flames. His controlled finishing strike meets the fire blast head on. Noah holds firm against the collision. Noah drives his sword through the incoming attack. A huge explosion erupts, hiding the result. So his Light Dark Flash breaks through the guardian's fire and detonates against the beast. The concentrated blast engulfs it without tearing apart the unstable chamber. Now the blast clears and the wounded guardian crashes down. The fight is over. Our boy restrains the collapsing chamber with chains and checks on the mage. She's unharmed, but warns him that the cave is still collapsing. The chamber keeps collapsing, but Noah grabs the magic tool and examines it. It may disperse dragon power. He identifies it as the Dragon Ring Sword, completing the cave mission. And now Bro has the Dragon Ring Sword and tells the mage they need to leave. They escape the cave, board a dragon, and travel to a fortified mountain city. A mage delivers Noah a letter once they reach the mountain city, and he ignores her irritation and enters a house beneath the mountains to investigate. And Noah approaches the bar, but Sai suddenly calls out, "Hey, a hooded person has collapsed beside a stool, signaling trouble inside the building." Then Sai hands the guy the letter and tells him it explains the disturbance. The report confirms someone stole a treasure from neighboring territory, and Noah reads on to learn what danger it poses. Now the bystander is assigned to recover it, but the report reveals it's sealed magic. That power can supposedly destroy an entire city, and it activates above the mountains and releases a huge surge. The stolen treasure casts starfall over the mountains, triggering an enormous explosion. The blast threatens the whole region and sends nearby dragons fleeing. So Bro recognizes the magic as starfall and prepares another operation. Sais will support him while Noah studies the draconian dragon riders. And elsewhere, a dragon corners the bystander, forcing her to defend herself with magic. Back in the mountain city, the bystander confronts Noah about his earlier choice, and this guy confirms he introduced her to the knight commander. She rejects the resulting demand and tells him to find another solution. Meanwhile, the argument catches Sais off guard when it reaches him, and the bystander demands an answer from both men. Sais grows uneasy as their planning meeting becomes a tense confrontation. So the bystander snaps while Noah calmly explains he promised to introduce her to a man. Sais pushes her further, so she shouts, "Don't say things like that." She blasts him backward with magic. But Dude approves the arrangement, leaving the bystander stunned. She accepts Sais as her partner and says, "I'll be in your care, Sai-san." Still flustered, she walks away. Courtship in this crowd apparently runs on blunt force trauma. Sais crashes into the rafters, but that settles their dispute. As the bystander prepares to join him, Sais discusses Eve Daskul's discovery. He decides to report it directly to the Dragon King. And Eve Daskul has discovered an Ogre King, whose power rivals Victor Daskul. They can't ignore an enemy that strong. Sais leaves to deliver the warning, and the bystander quickly follows her new partner. With Sais heading to warn Alkados, Noah regroups with the bystander, and she remains tense around him, but they approach a hidden mountain stronghold. Both continue through the mist toward the fortress. Then horned guards carrying spiked clubs block the fortress entrance. Noah avoids an open fight by grabbing the startled bystander. He speeds past the guards before they can stop him. Then our hero pours his power into speed and carries the bystander bystander past the guards. When defenders block their escape route, he shields her and keeps moving. The horned guards swing their spiked clubs. Noah counters while protecting the bystander. His strike sends one guard flying. The blast tears through the fortress, bringing debris down around them. The blast alerts another horned guard, who investigates and attacks with a spiked club. Bro can't let him spread the alarm, so he intercepts him with a concentrated strike. Now Noah's strike wounds the first guard, while another defender lies fallen nearby. The fight draws more attention. A second horned guard shouts, "Enemy attack," and swings at Noah. Noah worries the clash expose them, but the mage's soundproofing barrier traps every sound. The wider stronghold remains unaware. With the alarm contained, our boy keeps the mage behind him and drives Geisel back. She praises his skill, but Geisel stays upright and prepares to strike back. So meanwhile, a hooded treasure seeker examines a relic and confirms the treasure is there. He leads his cloaked companion through the ruins toward a fortified demonic structure, and the pair discovers someone has already breached the village's tight security. Two nearby observers investigate and find a cloaked girl collapsed inside the structure. Noah orders the hooded woman to leave before the structure collapses, and they escape through the upper door while fire consumes the corridor behind them. And Bro and the hooded woman continue searching the dark interior, and they find a magic circle, but it suddenly activates and catches them unprepared. The hidden defense blasts Noah while he shields his companion, leaving him injured, and when the smoke clears, he senses the horned creature guarding the treasure. So Geisel claims the treasure and praises Noah for bypassing the structure's security. The guy raises his sword. His companion prepares her magic. Then Noah's companion insists they can't leave the orb intact. Their assault wounds Geisel, and the mage follows with a spell, saying, "Nothing personal." Now Noah channels power through his sword. Noah prepares another attack. Geisel remains confident and threatens, "I'm going to crush you brats." Geisel attacks as promised, and his title confirms he's the Ogre Grand General guarding the treasure. But dude checks Geisel's strength before attacking, and his physical stat reads unmeasurable. He can't find its limit, so he raises his sword and prepares to defend. Noah follows the retreat order. Noah puts everything into destroying the orb. He drives his sword through Geisel's defense, but the strike barely harms him. Geisel catches Noah's blade barehanded and calls the attack weak and fragile. Noah can't break through, so Geisel counters with crushing force as this guy braces. So the counter breaks through Noah's defense, and another blast sends him falling across the battlefield. Injured, Noah forces his power under control and prepares for the next attack. Then Geisel dives after Bro and chains several slashes into one heavy strike. Noah blocks the barrage, survives the impact, and steadies himself despite his injuries. Geisel follows with a descending punch, but Noah regains his footing and braces through the blast. His companion casts a defensive spell to keep Geisel's force from overwhelming him. And Geisel calls their resistance a test of strength and launches another powerful attack. It shatters Noah's barrier. So Geisel punches again while our hero raises another defense. Noah hears the warning but holds his ground, letting his barrier absorb Geisel's attack. The collision erupts around him, and Bro counters through the blast with energy blades. Now Geisel grows furious that Noah blocked him and attacks again. Noah meets the strike with his sword, but their clash causes another huge explosion. Then Geisel's attack drives our boy and Liliana through the debris, but they recover and charge back together. Neither can overpower him alone. Noah tells Liliana to match his timing. So dude creates an opening, and Liliana unleashes a judgment attack. It fails, and the backlash throws her aside. Noah shields her and meets Geisel's next blow head on. Neither side gives way. Noah pushes forward, cuts through the enemy mage's projectiles, and closes in with his blade. Geisel lunges into the clash, forcing the guy to turn his attack toward him. And Geisel brings his weapon down, but Noah releases a burst of power. The exchange swings in Noah's favor. The mage cries, "No way," while Bro confirms his plan worked. Perfect. Noah follows the setup with Shinny style and unleashes a powerful sword attack. Geisel answers with Meisei flying blade, and their clash continues. The counterattack throws Noah away before he can regain control. He channels his power. He braces for another assault. Geisel overwhelms him again and prepares a finishing strike. So their attacks collide and burst into a huge blast. This guy can't recover before Geisel dives at him with a chained blade. Noah blocks the strike. Another shockwave tears across the battlefield. So Geisel swings a chained fist, and Bro answers with his own punch. Noah drives his sword into the barrier below. He needs to break through before Geisel overwhelms him again. Geisel counters Noah's aerial slash with an upward punch. The impact launches Noah across the battlefield before he can break through the defense, and the collision triggers a violent magical eruption. Our hero braces inside the surging power and forces the barrier apart. He commands, "Shatter." The release breaks through, sending crystalline blades down toward the battlefield. So Noah's release slams into the opposing power and detonates. The blast overwhelms him and hurls him away. Wreckage scatters across the battlefield, but the remaining blades keep flying through the smoke until a barrier absorbs them. Noah collapses. The alarmed mage rushes over to protect him. Then dude recovers and attacks again, but the explosion only catches Geisel's attention. Geisel calls it an amusing little trick and raises his huge weapon to counter. Geisel's fighters charge before Noah and the mage can recover. Noah forces himself forward to meet them. A huge slash tears through the stone and breaks their advance. The strike brings down the surrounding ground. Our boy recognizes the technique. An allied warrior calls to whoever launched it. That opening lets Noah escape the encirclement. Then Bro tells the mage to move and carries her through the enemy fighters. He shields her from their attacks while his power clears a path. They leave the battlefield together. Geisel attacks again before Noah can fully withdraw. Noah braces and their clash triggers another explosion. That gives him enough time to escape alive. The guy reports back to the dragon leaders, who can't believe he survived Geisel. Asked about the orb, he says his interference made its power run wild. A soldier interrupts with an urgent report. Surviving Geisel just joined his list of impossible resume lines. So the Oni clan has launched a full-scale invasion and is already nearing the border. Their forces plan to exploit the Dragon King's condition. They want battle while he's still alive. Now both armies advance toward war. Noah accepts the coming fight. Geisel prepares for battle as the invasion commanders begin drawing on their power. Meanwhile, the horned Oni emerge through the mist and reach the dragon forces. A dragon rider charges first, stopping their advance. And the dragon soldiers meet them head-on and impale one attacker. Ground troops and flying dragons commit, turning the border into open war. A holy mage invokes, "Grant us your blessing," and empowers the reptilian soldiers. With greater strength, they drive into the Oni ranks, and the empowered reptilian soldiers break through several enemy fighters, leaving them wounded. The dragon counterattack keeps moving forward. Then the blessing lets a reptilian soldier kill another enemy fighter. Bro and Sais race across the bloodied field, breaking through the remaining lines. Sais decides to clear the route himself while riding beside Noah. He declares, "Time to make some noise," and launches Earth Pike. He follows with Shadow Lightning style, 8th form, Lightning Clad. Lightning tears across the enemy forces. Sais completes Shadow Lightning style, 8th form, Lightning Clad. He channels its power into a sweeping sword strike, clearing Noah's path. So the strike detonates among the horned warriors and scatters their lines. Sais punches a survivor at close range, keeping the route open. The blast hits an energy barrier and erupts across the battlefield. Horned warriors are thrown back. One collapses among the debris. More armored enemies remain beyond the explosion, so the route isn't secure. Another quick strike finishes the fallen warrior. Noah charges through with his sword ready. He pushes toward the remaining line. Beside him, a reptilian soldier clashes with an armored enemy, keeping the breakthrough moving. So meanwhile, reptilian allies and horned warriors keep clashing across the route. Neither side gives way. This guy takes the lead and charges straight into the enemy line. But Noah meets a horned warrior blade to blade and pours power into his next assault. A huge clawed beast drops onto the enemy. Dude follows with another heavy slash, driving the breakthrough forward. So Noah clashes directly with another horned warrior. The warrior blocks his first strike and counters. Noah answers with a sweeping sword attack that forces him back, and the remaining enemies rush our hero together while their fallen allies surround him. One swings a spiked club and calls Noah a mere human. Bro blocks the blow and holds his ground. The enemy commander catches Noah's sword bare-handed and dares him to try harder. He believes a human blade can't hurt him. That pressure unlocks Divine Might style, 3rd form, Holy Mana Explosion. Noah channels it directly into the commander. Then the commander appears to withstand the impact, but Noah's attack cuts through and draws blood. The wounded commander still towers over Noah. This fight isn't finished. Then Noah's Holy Mana Explosion tears through the commander and blasts him backward. The nearby warriors freeze. They admit our boy defeated their commander almost instantly, confirming the new technique ended the clash. Now, Noah calmly finishes the commander, but more horned warriors charge him. A reptilian ally falls nearby. Bro still has to break through the remaining enemy line. Noah raises the enemy general's severed head and announces the kill. The remaining warriors lose their nerve. Allied troops drive them back across the wrecked battlefield. Now Noah senses something is wrong because this can't be the enemy's entire force. The remaining warriors challenge him anyway. He answers with another powerful sword strike while searching for the missing threat. Noah's final strike clears enough enemies for him to check the battlefield. The scattered bodies confirm his suspicion. Only a small Oni force is here. Their main army must be elsewhere. So, an allied knight reports that Geisel is missing too. The guy realizes this battle is a diversion, and the Oni are targeting Draconia. So reaching Draconia means crossing another battlefield, but Noah can't retreat. He and Sais will carve through the fighters blocking the canyon, and horned warriors rush forward. But the defenders have already lost too much time. Draconia is burning. Sais fights through the invaders inside the ruined city, confirming the Oni breached their true target. Inside Draconia, a horned brute crushes another defender. A cloaked S-rank criminal advances beside the invading force. He calls outsmarting the reptilian defenders child's play, confirming they breached the city on purpose. And the horned brute overwhelms a reptilian warrior and leaves a message to the king. He abandons the gravely wounded defender among the wreckage. wreckage. The invaders continue deeper into Draconia. The defender's warning comes too late. Geisel has already reached Draconia's inner defenses. An explosive clash wrecks the dragon defender, and Geisel approaches the sealed doors beside the cloaked criminal. He declares that their decisive battle is beginning. So Geisel blasts through the entrance and sends debris everywhere. He crashes into the inner battlefield and declares, "Let's settle this." Draconia's final defense now stands directly before him. Then Geisel finishes his challenge as the Dragon King charges into the inner battlefield. The Dragon King answers the invasion with overwhelming force. Both sides face each other and their battle begins. Now, the enraged Dragon King promises to repay the attack with 10,000 deaths. Geisel doesn't back down and prepares to meet the retaliation head-on. Alkathos charges straight at Geisel while the cloaked observer approaches through the wreckage. Both fighters gather their power. Alkathos strikes first and the decisive clash begins. But their attacks collide and set off a huge explosion. Geisel withstands it, then releases an even stronger wave of demonic power. Alkathos hasn't stopped him, and Draconia remains under attack. Alkathos drives a concentrated blast down onto Geisel, but Geisel survives the impact. He pours more power into his chained blade and attacks again. Neither side gives ground. Now Geisel prepares another attack among the wreckage, but Alkathos breaks through first. His golden slash lands directly and wounds Geisel. The Dragon King can still hurt him, so Alkathos follows the slash with a lightning charge dive. He drives Geisel into the mountain. He tears apart the surrounding ground. Geisel remains trapped under the attack. Then Geisel charges through the wreckage and collides with Alkathos. Another huge explosion throws both fighters through shattered rock. Neither one wins the exchange. Their collision tears apart more rock as the contained power overloads. The seal finally shatters. Geisel's restrained strength erupts across the battlefield, and Geisel wonders whether his old body is reaching its limit, and he forces out more power while the hooded man watches. Alkathos meets him head-on, and their collision detonates across the battlefield. Geisel orders the Dragon King to surrender, claiming their difference in strength is obvious. The Dragon King refuses. Negotiation ends there. Now Geisel vows to crush the Dragon King and launches a killing attack. The Dragon King counters with Dragon Breath. Both powers collide. The explosion engulfs Geisel as he struggles to withstand it. Then Geisel survives the blast and rushes Dude, driving a fire-wrapped punch into him. Noah flies backward, but Geisel attacks again before he can recover. Their next blows collide hard. So, the second impact launches Noah high above the ruined battlefield. A huge crater opens below him. An allied healer starts treating this guy, but Geisel releases another surge before he stabilizes. The surge rips through the battlefield and reveals a clawed creature among the burning ruins. Fighters keep clashing around a fallen combatant. The creature declares, "This battle ends here," and releases its full power. And the creature compresses that power into a destructive blast. The shockwave swallows the battlefield. When the explosion clears, a winged fighter raises a large blade and keeps resisting. Now Geisel answers by firing another energy pillar at the winged fighter. It tears through the crater. It splits the mountain range. Another explosion buries the battlefield. A survivor is still standing inside the blast. The eruption scatters the airborne dragon forces, but their rider leads another charge. The defenders still won't surrender. So that charge stops when another blast strikes a red dragon and its rider. Both are thrown off course. A second dragon rider hears the explosion and races toward the impact site. So the aerial fight sweeps across the mountains as a horned combatant attacks from a red dragon. A chained fighter enters the clash and confronts a huge winged beast directly. Noah tracks an axe-wielding creature through the aerial fight. Nearby, a horned warrior launches another attack. The strike overwhelms a robed defender and sends them flying. And the horned warrior declares the battle is decided and offers to spare their people. They only need to surrender. The dragon forces refuse and answer with a large magical attack. So the dragon forces counterattack gives Bro an opening. He drives a focused blast through the beast, leaving blood pouring from its jaw. But an explosion catches Noah and throws him through the air. A hooded man takes power from Alkathos' failing life. He reveals that he now holds the Arkados core. Then the clawed creature attacks him at once, trying to seize the Arkados core. It wounds his neck and shoulder. He answers with light blade flash and drives the creature back using the core's power. So their clash sets off an explosion across the battlefield. The blast tears past a winged combatant, but Noah steadies himself inside the shockwave. He grips his sword. He brings his power under control for another strike. Now our hero pushes through the surge with even more power. He unleashes another sword strike, but the fight's outcome isn't revealed.